Today we're doing the Altra Shoe Showdown.
That one is huge.
What is up, everybody? Today we are doing a short video, a little Ultra showdown of the Escalante 2.0, the Altra Torin 4.0, and the new Torin 4.5 Plush. So I'm going to take each of these shoes out on a little bit of a run, a little half-mile run around my block. So I've got my shoes lined up here, ready to go. I'm going to do one lap with each of them, so about a half mile or so, and then I'm going to do one lap with both the Torin 4 and the 4.5 Plush, because I'm really interested to see the differences between those two once they're both on my feet. So I will get started here in a second, and I hope you enjoy the video. I did runs with each of these shoes just recently, a little half-mile loop around my neighborhood in each of them, just to get a sense of what does each of them feel like, what are the differences, what are some of the things that set these shoes apart from one another. So I'll start with the Altra Escalante 2.0. I've got probably close to 100 miles in this shoe now. This is one of Altra's more popular shoes. Putting this one on, it feels really good. It definitely is a little bit more minimalistic in the cushion of the shoe. I'll put all the stats for the shoe up here on the side of the video just so you can get a sense of what the stack height is, what the weight of it is, that sort of stuff. Definitely more of a minimalist shoe in the Ultra lineup. It has an Ego midsole, fairly thin, pretty minimal on the upper. It still is very comfortable. The upper is very sock-like in my opinion. All these Ultra shoes, as you know, are going to have the wider toe box, zero drop, so the stack height or the cushion on the shoe is going to be the same in the heel and the forefoot. But overall, this is a fantastic shoe. I have loved having it in my lineup and using it for my speed days. I certainly see how some people could use it as a daily trainer. A really fantastic shoe and one that I really enjoy. The upper, though it is a little bit more minimalistic, there's no pain points. For me, it's a very comfortable shoe. The tongue is very comfortable as well. It just kind of wraps over your foot. You can see here, just kind of wraps over your foot. It's even got a little bit of stretchy material. Not a ton of padding, but the way that it lays on your foot, I don't think it needs a lot of padding, but it is very comfortable. Fairly breathable as well. Pretty good shoe in that regard. You don't get a lot of heel support there, which for me in my speed days, I don't necessarily need. But overall, putting the shoe on, this was the first one that I took around the block, and you know, still love this shoe, really enjoy it. And it is very poppy and responsive. So a great shoe, and one that am glad that I have in my lineup. I'll probably buy new versions of this shoe as well, just because I really do love. I think it strikes a really good balance for just enough cushion, just enough responsiveness. One of the better shoes, certainly a great selling shoe in Ultra's lineup, probably their best selling shoe in their lineup, and one that I've really enjoyed. So that is the Escalante 2.0. Let's jump over and talk about the 4.0, the Torin 4.0. So this is a shoe that I used to have in my running lineup. I'll put all the stats up here on the side of the screen as well for this one, the weight, the stack height, that kind of stuff. But I've got over 500, I'd have to go back and check. I might even have over 600 miles in this shoe. I think this is a great all-around shoe. It's not quite as, you don't get quite as much stack height as the Plush version, but that actually gives you, in my opinion, a little bit more responsiveness, and gives you a little bit better toe off. It is very cushioned still, just enough for a good daily trainer. I put a lot of miles in the shoes, definitely did a lot of long runs in the 18 to 20 mile range. Ran at least one marathon. I might have ran 2 marathons in this shoe, but really great. You can see it's pretty tore up at this point. And the typical points of the shoe for me, very much in the heel. I actually used this through the winter, and it was a great shoe even in the winter. Feet never got cold, that kind of stuff. Fairly breathable and pliable upper. I think for me, at least, in comparing the 4 and the 4.5, that's one of the things that I like, and I at least give the edge to the 4.0 on, is to me, the upper is more comfortable than the newer version, the 4.5. You can see it's got a very padded tongue. You get a lot of padding with the type of upper that they have on this. It is still very durable. You can see there's no wearing on the seams. There's no, parts where the shoe is breaking down. Overall, it held up really well for as many miles as I put on it. So a really great shoe. I think the only downside of this shoe that I didn't love is that you'll kind of see here, you've got these reflective straps on the upper. I think the idea is to make sure that you get a better lockdown with those, but I actually found those to be, they didn't contribute to the fit of the shoe any, but they did constrain, especially the top of my foot, in a way that I actually had some irritation and some pain on the top of my foot a couple of times. And actually went a period of my running when I had that pain on my foot, and I had to figure out, how do I get the right fit on this shoe? Do I need to loosen the laces? Do I need to tighten them? I was able to figure it out eventually, but it's certainly not one that, is easy. It's hard to figure out exactly how to get the right fit on that. So I think that is the only downside of this shoe, is just, it was kind of hard to dial in the fit on this particular shoe. And then finally, we will talk about the newer shoe in the lineup. This is the Altra Torin 4.5 Plush. I'll put a link to my review of this shoe in the comments, and I might put it up here as well so that you can click on it and read my review of it. But overall, I was somewhat disappointed in this shoe. The main part about the shoe that I am most disappointed about is the fit of the upper. I think the fit is dialed in as far as how it conforms to your foot and how you can get a really snug lockdown on it. What I didn't love about the upper of the shoe is that I think it's not very plush. The sole is plush. You've got a couple more millimeters of stack height. I'll put the details about the shoe, the stack height and weight of the shoe up here as well. The sole is very comfortable, but the upper, just to me, it was not. You do get a little bit more structure in the heel of the shoe than from the 4.0. But I just feel like the tongue redesign, especially, I think the tongue is personally the worst part of the shoe. I just didn't like the way that the tongue laid or fit, and it didn't contribute to the comfort of the shoe in any way. And I think actually with some of these rigid points on the shoe, it makes it quite uncomfortable around the heel. Additionally, I felt it when I took it for laps around the block as well, but the inside of the shoe in particular, it almost seems like the inside of the shoe, it comes up higher than the other side of the shoe, or it lays that way at least, on that inside of the foot. And it's just too rigid right here around the laces. This portion right here, I think it's a good idea to have something similar to that will give you a good lockdown around the heel, so that it's not a sloppy fit. But for me, it makes it too uncomfortable, and that actually digs into the inside of my heel on this shoe. I will say that running in the shoe with both the 4.0 and the 4.5 on my foot, you can tell a slight difference in the cushioning. And this, again, I've got probably, I think, around 600 miles on this shoe. And then I've got, I think, 150 on this shoe right now. And the difference between those two is very minimal, but you can tell that there's a little bit more cushion, a little bit more give in the sole of the 4.5 Plush. I don't think that the upper on this is near as breathable as the 4.0. So for me, this wasn't, of the three shoes, this one is not the best. If I had to rank between the three shoes and tell you what the best is, in my opinion, I think the best shoe for what it's intended for is the 2.0, the Escalante 2.0. For the price that you can get this shoe right now, I've seen it for as low as $65. This is a fantastic deal. I think this is a phenomenal shoe, very comfortable. If you're not running a lot of miles, if you're running 30 or 40 miles a week, this would be a great shoe. If you're putting in more miles than that, I think you probably want something a little bit more cushioned for your daily trainer. And for me, between these two shoes, the Torin 4.0 and the 4.5 Plush, I've again, I've got to give it to the 4.0 just because I think the upper is just so much more comfortable. It is a little sloppier. You don't get as much lockdown, not quite as dialed in as the 4.5 Plush, but for me, the comfort outweighs that. So again, for me, the 4.0 wins. If I had to choose one shoe between the three, and I could only have one shoe to run in for the rest of, for the next few months or something like that, I think this would be it, because you've got enough cushion there, you've got comfort. I've done some speed work in this shoe and it does pretty well with that. It is a little bit more responsive than the Plush version, but it still gives you enough that you can go on long runs in this shoe. So for me, this is the one shoe that I would choose among the three, but I think the one that's best for what it's intended for, again, is the Escalante 2.0. Again, an absolute bargain for what it's going for right now. Again, I think there were some disappointments for me in the 4.5 Plush. Some things that should be easy fixes. I like that Quantic midsole for the most part. I think they should carry over some type of version for the new 4.5 Plush, or excuse me, the new version, like a 5.0. I think a 5.0, could continue to do well with this. I think you just have to do, in my opinion, for this shoe, I would just completely redesign the upper. So that's my analysis of these three shoes. I'm a big fan of Altra. I really like what they're doing. I think they have a lot of fantastic shoes in their lineup. I saw that the Olympus just came out. That looks like a very interesting shoe. So I'm actually going to head to the running store right now because I am in need of some trail running shoes. So I'm going to go try on a few and figure out which one I like. I don't know that it's going to be another Altra. I have been a big fan of the Hoka Speed Goat for a long time. I've been running in the Speed Goat 3. So I'm probably going to lean towards a Hoka, but I'm certainly open to trying on a few other shoes and seeing what I like the most. One other thing to mention is that I just got some new running shorts. So these are the Path Project Sykes. These, I'm really interested in these. I'm going to use these primarily for trail running, but they can certainly be a great short for road running as well. One of the things that I really like about it is you've got a rear pocket, you've got two side pockets, you've got elastic on the waistband, and this thing is super light. When I got the package, I was like, uh-oh, they forgot to put anything in it. No, the shorts are just that light. They weigh, I think they're in the neighborhood of 2.6 ounces or something like that. It's just ridiculous how light these shorts are. So I'm super excited to start running these. I'm going to take these out tomorrow and see how they do, but really excited to have these, and I'll give you a little bit of, I'll probably do a really short 5-minute video on these shorts. So really excited for these, and I'll give you some more reviews as well here coming up. Appreciate you tuning in for this review of the Ultra Shoe Showdown. Please, be sure to like and subscribe to this video. Helps me out a ton. Really appreciate the support for the channel. Be sure to leave any comments, and thanks so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day.